Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of June 5th, Monday, 2017. And we are currently in the producing product of the very essence of creating a very fantastical golden age, of which is what is in the proper motion of what is creating the very renaissance which we are in, and therefore accelerating, and the very accelerated moment, which is very fantastic, because what we got here is an ordinary and extraordinary fantastical motion for co-creative expansion. So ultimately, to break it down, we got in terms of economics to political, to all the way to financial, to water hydraulic, to the financial aspect, which is furthermore than what we already reiterated, which is beyond that, which is to be expanded, which is unlimited. So the very one, let me get this straight, the fucking, excuse my language, but the Galactic Society that was supposed to be, which is actually, in essence, is the very facilitation of a very excellent prosperity moment, which is, of course, what we all do. And actually, this is more of a congratulatory experience. And a congratulatory acceleration of not only the fucking, excuse my language, oh my goodness, not only the metal and the producing product of the, like the poster, like the portrait of the face of that which is excellence, but also the acceleration of that which is the very grandeur of that which is the product of truly revolutionary and evolutionary change. So this is, of course, a very important moment in time, which, of course, not only allows us to not only learn from what we've already established, which is enhanced and enlightened understanding of the very wisdom which was inputted and therefore implemented and therefore understood as that which is the very product of a company, of a restaurant, of a mindset, of an establishment, of an idea that allows us to produce, create, and accelerate the very expansion of imagination, which is already unlimited in the first place. Now, this unlimited understanding is what allows us to, of course, illustrate and therefore build the building blocks of what was already established. And then it seems that it's going incredibly. It may have the perception of something which can have the perspective of something that's completely different than the reality, but the very infatuating and the very accelerating and the very notion of the source of the very potential of what is already known, which is the truth, is that which is allowing us to therefore accelerate, which is already prevalent, and known in this state of being. So, ultimately, long story short, there's a lot of divine platforms of foundations already set. There's a lot of divine platforms of consistency with the very foundation that was already laid, and therefore the acceleration of what has already been broken down. This is to break down in order to provide more facilitation of acceleration. What's already broken down is the very facility of what accelerates the very atomic level of acceleration of the DNA The acceleration of the DNA expansion, which is on a molecular, I'm gonna break it down. Molecular level of the acceleration of DNA to become that which we already were, to elevate the originality of what is to become that which we already know is innately known by the third eye, by the body and the mind, and by the organs, which are still in existence but have not and have been not removed, but have been removed, but have not been removed, but are still in essence the very building blocks of what is the unconditional loving state of all humanity and all of creation, which we state here as what we beyondly bond with our bond with this one, which is oneness, and one which is spectacular transcendence for the creative ability, for all of expansion, for the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, for the elemental kingdom, for the diva kingdom, and for humankind. We allow ourselves to therefore grow, and this is just one spectacular movement, which is a spectacular understanding of that which is the movement of creativity, which allows us to grow, expand, and therefore exude excellence. I love you all. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of Fire of Liberty, June 5th, 2017, on a Monday. Love you all, and continuous prosperity, resiliency and prosperity, continuance for excellence, dedication, motivation, and absolute extraordinary focus. That's right, I just made up a word. Extraordinary focus for the very intention of what is perfection, what already exists in the understanding of what we already embody, and therefore the existence of divine diamond state transcendence of unity. That is all. Love you all. Good evening.